Everyone, let's chat about one of the biggest, most popular services in AWS, the great EC2. Now, EC2 can sound quite intimidating, but it's nothing to be scared of. All it means is the elastic compute cloud. Not that it clears anything up, so let's actually dive into what it is. Elastic just means flexible, so it can adapt and change to whatever needs you had. Compute is computing power, so EC2 helps us to add on all of that good computing power, just give you another boost for all of the tasks or whatever it is that you want to do. And then cloud just means available over the internet. So all we're talking about is really computing power that can scale or shrink depending on what you are looking for. In more technical terms, it's a service that allows us to rent virtual computers. They're like your personal computer, but they live just on the internet in the cloud. You can create and customize these computers to do pretty much anything you want, from running websites to running applications. And there's lots of different reasons to love EC2, but some of the main reasons that we love EC2 is that it's quick, it's big, it's scalable, and it's pay as you go. You can create and launch an EC2 instance within minutes. An instance is just one running up of these virtual machines. You can create thousands of EC2 instances on demand. And whenever you're done, you can just stop the instance. No more being stuck with unused servers. You pay by the hour or even by the second. There's a minimum 60-second payment, but still, that's pretty good. There's no long-term commitments necessary. Of course, you can scale it so you can make your instances as big or as small as you need. And really, you're only paying for the computing power that you actually use. Now, before we go any further, let's just clear up some quick terminology around EC2 instances. Now, you might have heard the terms virtual computers, virtual instances, virtual servers, virtual computers again. These all mean the same thing. So don't panic as if they're all different. They're all just the same. This is because AWS owns physical data centers, which have servers, and each server can create and manage multiple virtual computers. Some people call these virtual machines. And these virtual computers are sometimes called virtual servers because they're basically just servers that are running on the cloud. Then in AWS, the service that lets us actually access those virtual computers or machines or servers is EC2. And so we call them EC2 instances. But they all just mean the same thing. A bit more into the details. How does EC2 actually work? Step one is to launch. To start, you just create your instance. You might begin with a template that has some basic settings around instance type and security, but we'll go through that more later on. Step two is to connect. Now that you've set up your instance, you probably want to connect it to something else so that it can do things. This might be storage, this might be apps, this might just be the AWS management console. There's lots of different other services and ways that we can connect our EC2 instance. But whatever it is, just know that the next step once you set it up is to connect it to the wider services and things that you actually want to do. And then finally, step three is to start using it. You can run commands to install software, add storage, organize files, and so much more. Now, what about Amazon Machine Images? How do they work? When you first launch your EC2 instance, in that first step that we talked about, you've actually got to select an operating system for your instance. An operating system, or it's called an OS for short, is like the computer's manager that basically controls everything the computer does. Every phone and every computer has an operating system. For example, Windows, Mac OS, so the OS being the operating system, Android, Linux, so many more. Just like you might have a conductor who's leading an orchestra, every computer has an operating system to make sure that everything goes smoothly. So when we're talking about virtual machines in our EC2 instances, and we're saying that each of those needs an operating system, you have one operating system per virtual machine, because we're treating a virtual machine as if it's a standalone computer. So in order to select an operating system for our EC2 instance, we know that we have to do this now. You have to choose an Amazon Machine Image. The Amazon Machine Image is like the blueprint or the instructions for your virtual machine. It's going to include details about the operating system and which one we want to use, which is why it's very important, any software that you need installed, and how the computer's storage and settings could be arranged. It's just like your own computer. Imagine that you're setting up your own computer from scratch and you can choose the operating system, the storage, how much compute power it has. You can choose all that and configure it how you like a build your own computer, but you're just doing it in AWS. Build your beer or build a ice cream or whatever it is that you want to do, but you're just building a computer. Now, the great thing about this is that once you've set up this machine image once, this set of instructions, you can just keep reusing that so that you don't have to go through all those different settings every single time. You can just say, here's the instructions of how my computer set up. Off you go and create a whole bunch of virtual machines for me. There's a bunch of different types of machine images that we can use. We have quick start machine images, marketplace machine images, ones that are just called My Amazon machine images, which are based off your existing instances. Community machine images, which are ones that have been made by other people in the community that you can use. And then custom machine images, which you can just create yourself. So you might be thinking, how do I know which instructions to do? There's heaps of other options actually that you can use, from pre-made templates to community sourced images. There's heaps to get you started there. So now that our EC2 instance is set up with the right instructions of how we want it to be set up using our machine image, let's have a look at the full life cycle of EC2 instances and how this works. So now that we've got our EC2 instance set up, we've put the right instructions in there from our machine image. Let's look at the full cycle of an EC2 instance so that we can understand from start to finish how this whole thing fits together. First up, we have pending. Pending is where the instance is being launched and then prepared for use. This is where AWS is doing all the busy stuff to actually set up the instance properly, like actually following the instructions in the machine image and copying that content into your virtual machine. At this stage, there's no charges applied. A great way to think about this is if you're going on a road trip, then you are in pending while your car is sitting in the driveway and being packed with all your luggage and kayaks and tents and whatever it is that you need. That's the pending stage. You're not actually on the road yet. There's no costs because you haven't used any fuel. The next state is running. This is when you're in a fully operational state and you can start to run the actual tasks that you want to use on your instance. This is where the charges are going to start kicking in. Again, if you go with a car metaphor, now you're on the road, you're driving, you're burning fuel. It's going to cost. But now that it's running, you can actually start to take all sorts of different actions. You can terminate, you can stop, you can reboot, you can hibernate. You're on the move, which brings us to those exact actions. If you do decide that you want to stop or stop hibernate or reboot, then this is always an option. Reboot is going to restart the operating system. Stopping an instance is exactly what it sounds like. You're just shutting it down. And stop hibernate is actually going to write your instance's state into memory so that if you want to start it up again, it can just get started straight away. Finally, we have terminate. Terminate is the last step of the cycle. This is where it's off for good. No more charges are going to apply, but be really careful because once you do this, then all of the data in your instance is lost forever. Ideally, you'll have all of your important data backed up. Now, let's go into the cost aspect of EC2. You're only going to get charged for your EC2 instance when it is in a running state, or if you are in the stopping state when it is preparing to hibernate. This means that you can stop all the instances that aren't being used on times when you're just not using them. For example, applications that maybe only need to be used Monday to Friday. AWS is not going to charge you any usage or transfer fees after you stop your instance, but any storage that you're using that's associated to EBS, which is the Elastic Block Store, the storage that comes with your EC2 instances, is still going to be charged for. Thank you so much for diving into EC2 instances with me. Happy learning. We'll see you in the next video.